Montana was one of the 13 states that joined in a lawsuit in federal district court in North Dakota to block the EPA and the Army Corps of Engineers from implementing the new rule. They call it the Waters of the U.S. rule. And it's something that the EPA promulgated under the Clean Water Act, as you mentioned. It's interesting to note that the Congress has attempted or tried to pass a bill on a couple of occasions that would do what this rule pretends to do, and of course Congress has rejected that, and that's the proper place for this kind of law. This is a new law. It expands the purview of the Clean Water Act, and it's not proper for the EPA to do that. They don't have the authority to do that. So that's one of the subject matters of the complaint. There are now 30 states that have filed suit nationwide, 13 of those in the same venue with us. And the court, Judge Sullivan, federal district court judge, had imposed an injunction last Thursday, I believe it was, prohibiting the EPA and the Army Corps of Engineers from going through with the rule pending the outcome of the case. The EPA immediately said that this injunction only applies to the 13 states involved in the lawsuit. Judge Sullivan, I think, was quite concerned with that position, and so he ordered the parties to file briefs by today to help the judge determine whether or not the EPA should be enjoined from implementing the rule nationwide. So that's kind of where we stand now. It's one step in what will probably be a long process. Montanans cherish their clean water. We've done a great job through our state Water Quality Act, which is basically a program through cooperative federalism where the state has control and primacy of determining how we're going to protect our water resources. Frankly, this attempt by the EPA, it impacts our state sovereignty, and it really does violate the concept of cooperative federalism that's within the Clean Water Act. And so we're going to continue to fight this, and we're glad that the court enjoined the EPA and the Army Corps of Engineers. And we do think that it should be nationwide. It really isn't fair that they should apply different standards from state to state.
Well, now, Tim, even if the EPA is enjoined from doing this, what's if you will, considering the fact of their past performance, of them simply to ignore that altogether and go ahead and just run roughshod over the states' rights and the judicial system?
Well, they would, if they did that, they would risk being held in contempt with a federal district court judge, which I wouldn't recommend that they do. Although I will tell you that, as you know, Montana joined the immigration lawsuit when President Obama and his administration promulgated what we believe to be illegal executive orders on immigration. Montana joined that suit, and the court entered an injunction eventually. But while the court was considering whether to enter that injunction against President Obama's administration, the court specifically asked whether or not the federal government was going to implement the executive orders, and the judge was told no. As it turned out, the federal government had to come back and sheepishly report that, in fact, they had implemented the executive orders and really had violated the court's trust and the court's injunction. That incurred the wrath of the federal judge, and I wouldn't wish that on anyone. So I would hope that our federal government doesn't do that, but as you note, they are oftentimes see themselves as above the law.